Hey everyone, welcome to this video. We wanted to highlight an amazing segment from our recent episode. Our guest Martevious Young is an absolutely inspirational guy, and he just hit us with so much wisdom, so much knowledge in this segment you're really going to love. So tune in, dads. This is something you don't want to miss.
This is one thing I learned. People used to talk about back then, don't be a tattletale. And me, I'm like, be a tattletale. Like, you tell me everything. Like, like I'm like, look, we're gonna build trust here. I want you to feel like you can tell me anything and dad is gonna do something about it. That's what I want. For me, it's like understanding like we're gonna build that trust no matter what. So I tell our kids all the time, be a tattletale. When it gets to that point where you're just trying to get your brother in trouble when he's really not doing anything, no, that's a different story. Now we can talk about that and have a conversation. But as far as some of the other things, like we encourage them, like tell us everything. Number one, because we want you to trust that you can come to us. Because we wait till you in middle school and then we're like, come and tell us everything. And it's like, well, I couldn't tell you that then. So you have to understand trust takes time. You have to build that trust. And it starts, like I said, at this age right here, they have to feel comfortable talking with you about these things. So you just have to build that trust. So we just try to start understanding like we're not parenting for today. We're going to enjoy today. But like our kids are going to be in 6th grade, middle school, high school, like within the next 10 years, right? It's 8. So before that. So we have to understand it's not just about today. It's about just a couple years from now. They're growing. And like I said, these things aren't slowing down one bit. And the amount of things that's infiltrating the school system is crazy. And you're crazy if you think it aren't. So for us, like I said, it's just preparing for these things and also preparing our kids for these things as well. Because like I said, you can't keep them immune from it, but you can teach them to live above it, to be able to see it and also be able to acknowledge it as well. Because many times, like I said, it comes like when you become a leader, you can't just see something, then you be the only one walk away. You have to acknowledge that. You have to step up for the people who don't have the parents like you have. Not saying that we're perfect, but we taught you to recognize these things. Now you have to step in for other people. Now you have to really be a leader outside of the car ride. Now you have to go and make decisions and do things for other people as well. And when they see that light that you're doing, that's you stepping into who you really are, stepping into your calling. That's you stepping in. And just as a kid, that's your ministry, being able to do this for these people. So I tell our kids all the time, most people never go to church at all, but the way that they see that you live your life, the way that they see you respond to certain kids who are the mean and the bad kids, they're going to be drawn to you. They're going to be attracted to you. And those are the people that's going to want to be around you at all times. And those are the people that's going to want to come over to your house. Those are the people that's going to come over to your house. And now they see your dad and your mom. They fall in love with your dad and your mom, not because they're perfect, because they treat them like they're valuable. They treat them like they're worthy. They treat them like they're special and they have a voice and they have all of these things. So for us, we don't want our kids to go to other people's house when they're old. We want all the kids to come to our house. We trying to have our kids may not like it, but we want everything in house because we want to set that environment where kids come here and they just feel worthy, loved, and everything else that we feel like kids needs. Kids, like they're valuable, they're precious, and the problem is most people don't treat them like they're precious. So they have all these cracks and bruises and all of these things like I did. Because people mishandled me when I was young, not because they did so on purpose, but because they didn't know what they were doing. Because all they knew what they knew they had to go and make the money. They had to take care of the kids, so they didn't have time to read the book, to get on this or get on that. They didn't have podcasts back then, so all they knew what they knew, and that's what they was building on. But us, we have a different story. We have all of these things, so we're able to treat them like they're precious. We're able to handle them in the correct way and teach them and train them and build them up the way that they should go. So when they're old, now they won't turn from it because they have a foundation with no cracks in it. They may have some flaws, but there's no cracks in their foundation. And now they're able to build on what we started. So that's our whole purpose. We're not building our kids and training them to be kids. We want them to be amazing adults. We don't want them to be amazing teenagers. We want them to be, like I said, just the most amazing people that people will meet. And that just, like I said, I told my wife, I've started praying for their spouses. Like, I'm a girl dad, 3 girls. I'm not the one saying, hey, you're never going to date. Like, you're going to date. But when you date, best believe that standard is high. Like, you're not settling for less than what God has for you.
Sir.
And then you meet that person God has for you, you best believe you're going to know because your dad's been praying for him since you were just a baby girl. So, and that's the same with my boys. I'm praying that God will cover them. We talk about the schools. I pray every single day that God will have a spiritual restraining order around our elementary school, around our neighborhoods around here, around that, like the city. Like I pray, there's a spiritual restraining order. The evil say you cannot even come on the premises. You cannot even come close. And I know that's not going to happen by accident. I know he's going to slip through because sometimes things just happen. But at the same time, that don't mean I can't pray for these things. That don't mean I can't equip my kids to see these things. That don't mean I can't teach and pray with and for my kids about these things and teach them how to pray with and for these things. So for me, it's just being conscious and aware and purposeful with everything that I'm doing. Understand it is not for today, it's for tomorrow. And when tomorrow comes, you're going to be doing it for that next day. And it's just an uphill battle that you have to continue to show up and you have to continue to fight and do your part, understanding that God is always going to do his part. He's always going to bring the right people that you need at the right time to give you everything that you need and to also have your back. He's always going to, like you said, iron sharpens iron. This right here, guys want to get better. This is how you get better. It wasn't an accident. I've committed my time to becoming this person. I didn't fall into this person. If people were to see my history, there's no way this guy can be talking about these things. But when they see the track record, when they see the receipts, like you go in the store and you buy something and you come out, people say, hey, you got a receipt for that? Here's right here. I paid the price. When people see my life, hey, here's a receipt. Man, I paid the price. This didn't come free. Like I put in the time, the effort, the commitment. I've sold up the podcast. Like people say they get tired of listening to things like this. I'll listen for hours, 2 hours on P, 5, 10, 20 times. These same things. It's in my head. It's in my soul. This is just who I am. And that's when I speak. It's because I believe these things. This is my foundation. This is what I have been built on. This is what I'm building on. So I will not waver from these things. So life happens to me all the time, but just because it's happened doesn't mean it's going to move me. My foundation is solid. So nothing is going to shake me. I may get upset. I may have some setbacks. I may have different type of things that's going to happen, but that's temporary. It won't last forever. Continue to build, continue to prepare, continue to equip yourself and your kids and your family and your wife and your community and the people that you're surrounded with and the people that get on President Father's podcast. Continue to equip and do your part, because when the army comes together, nothing will withstand the power and the force and the impact that it's going to have on the kingdom for God. So that's my whole mission, and that's what I love to do. That's why I show up every single day, understanding that it's a battle. Most people hear my messages and think it's for them. I'm speaking to myself. You guys got the time hop out. It shows you everything that you posted a year ago. These are seeds. I say things today, understanding it's going to come up again next year. And what I said today, I'm going to hear that. And I'm like, this was a seed that you planted. This thing is still growing. This thing is still growing. So every single day you are planting seeds. You have to determine what is the crop that you're going to reap. What seeds are you planting? And listen, the problem is most guys are planting weeds. And that's why they're seeing what they're seeing in their life. If you want to plant and grow fruit, like this is where you plant that fruit. You need what these guys are sharing with you. And like I said, I didn't show up by accident. I got around guys like this and spent time in environments like this because these are the guys that I want to be like. So when you see me in this circle, I'm supposed to be here. My gift made space for me to be here because I invested in my gift. I didn't just show up on accident. These guys just didn't reach out to me by accident. They didn't say, hey, he has a great family. No, my life speaks for itself. My gift speaks for itself. Not because I'm perfect, not because I think I'm special. It's because I went to work. When God places demand on your life, listen, the favor will make a way for you. Your gift will make a way for you. A great husband, you will become that, but you have to go to work. And it's hard and it's tough. But at the end of the day, it's worth every inch of it. And that's what I try to tell people all the time. I don't care how hard to get. I almost lost my wife 2 years ago, after a year and a half ago, after losing her twins, and seeing her go through what she went through gave me a different perspective on life, because that's when we took a step back and understood this life is not about us and where we live and the house that we have. It's about our kids, because if we can't do these things for our kids and prepare them and just be able to enjoy them in the days of their youth, like what are we doing these things for? And so that's when we really got serious about our life, got serious about the things that we want to see in our life, and really got serious about the foundation that we were building. And that's when we just started to go on to work on these things. Like we see famous people get divorced all the time, and it just lets us know like that can be you. So you either going to work on your marriage or you working on your divorce by default. And we make a decision. We're going to work on our marriage, because divorce isn't an option, and it's going to take work. And you have to grow together, because if you aren't growing together, then you're growing apart. And sad as that is, like that's what happened to most people. And that's not just marriage. That's as a father. Think about if you own a business. Think about what you guys do. If you show up at your job and you're not going to work on your specific field, do you think you're going to get better? You think somebody's going to want you? doing things for the business or hiring you to do this, or hiring you to do that. No, they don't trust you. Your life speaks for you. It's going to testify against you. It's going to expose what you haven't been doing. So when people see the results that they have, your life is testifying against you. When people go through things and they're talking about praying and do this, and it's not happening, it's not that it's not happening. You really haven't been doing the work behind the scenes. Yes, we see you praying. We see you doing these things on social media, but that isn't going to help you when life happens. When life hits you, listen, it's going to hit you. It doesn't care who you are. So that's when me and my wife made a decision. When we see things happen to famous people, it lets us know, like, we're not in the bubble. We're not immune from these things. If you're not going to work, like the Bible says, you either build on sand or you build on the rock. And at the end of the day, that storm is going to expose or it's going to defend you. And when life hits us, and my wife was on her deathbed and people saw us, and I recorded everything. I recorded the depression. I recorded the near-death experience. So when people see our life and they see that and they say, you want attention, that's why you're doing this. I say, no, you remember I was talking about faith over here and you say I didn't really go through anything? Check this video out right here. We went through almost death with my wife. That's why we talk about faith. That's why we talk about God. That's why we talk about these things. So we was prepared for that moment. Not saying it was easy, but our faith wasn't just praying and just hoping and wishing that, these things would happen. We was actually going to work behind the scenes. We was actually going to work on our marriage. We was actually going to work. God, mold me. God, build me. God, do all these things for me. So when God started doing these things for you, you have to understand it's a process. But at the same time, he's testing and stretching your faith. What is faith if you're not going to be tested to see if it's real? He's testing your faith. He's growing you. He's maturing you. There's so many things that, we went through in that moment that taught us about life. And I think that was probably one of the best experiences that we could have had because it gave us a greater appreciation for the love of God, for the grace of God. And I think when my wife went through that, people don't know this, but she read Craig Groeschel's book. She'll tell you to this day she hates that book. It's called Dangerous Prayers. And she prayed that God, she said, I don't have any empathy, or she's like, I just don't feel for people that deep. And listen, when she prayed that prayer, like he broke her in such a way that, like right now, she just sees anything and it just breaks her heart because her heart is broke. She sees things the way that God sees. It just hurts his heart to see certain situations, and she feel that now. But what I tell people is she had to go through something to feel that. When she prayed that prayer and when she went through what she went through, that's that testimony. So when I show you this video of my wife, I don't want attention. I don't need attention. I have 5 kids. Like I get plenty of that. Like it's not for that. It's to let you know, like I tell her, like our faith have been put on trial. And like, listen, our prayer life, our habits, the foundation that we building, like it's going to defend us. It's going to get up and say, hey, I saw what they went through behind the scenes, not on social media. I saw what they was doing in their marriage. I saw what they was doing to their kids. And you should, like, this cannot happen to them. And that's what got us through all of these things, the work that we did behind the scenes. And that's what I tell people. You can talk about it and want it all day long. But if you don't go to work on it, you won't have it. Like great marriages don't happen by luck or by accident. It happens by work. Being a great father don't happen by luck or by accident. It happens by work. It happens by showing up. Most people don't want to commit to things like this. This is the thing that you have to do. This is part of that commitment to yourself, to your kids, to your growth, to learning and relearning some of the things that you need to learn. You can't figure it out by yourself. This is so many guys talking through me because I took the time to sit down and listen to these guys. Like, this is what that is. So when people tell me all the time, you're smart, you're this, I'm like, no, I just know how to listen to people. Exactly. I know how to listen like with a filter. Like everything you have to say to me, it may not make sense. I may not need it, but best believe that filter that I listen with is going to catch what I need, and it's going to store it up within my soul. It's going to store it up within this well that I got. And at the right time, that's what God is going to pull out. So most people don't have nothing because they don't have nothing for God to pull out. You haven't been listening to anybody but the people at your work talking about how much they hate their job. That's not going to help your marriage. That's not going to help you as a father. So for me, it's about who are you listening to, who's planting seeds, who's pouring in your well, because that's what God is going to use at the end of the day. And my well is full of his word, it's full of wisdom from other guys, experiences, my own testimony, and just so many other things. And that's what I decide to, like I said, when I prioritize what's important, that's important for me. So that's want to go within me. Garbage in, garbage out. I don't put garbage in me. I don't put garbage in my mind because I know that's what's going to come out at the end of the day. So wisdom, understanding, everything that's going to build me and not hurt me, everything that's going to build my kids and not hurt my kids, that's what I'm going to put in me because I know that's what's going to come out of me. So I didn't mean to take you guys on that long rant.
Man.
Sometimes
that's like the best 20 minutes probably ever recorded right there. I was like, we got to end the show now. We got to go conquer the world, you know? Oh, man.
Climb that mountain.
Thanks for watching this segment from our episode. We hope you found it inspiring just like we did. Subscribe to our channel, like this video, leave us a comment, and make sure you've got notifications turned on. Also, check us out on Spotify. We'll see you in the next episode.